You ever met a man and instantly know he's doing way too much for somebody who barely knows your last name? This man called me beautiful queen so much, I started wondering if he actually remembered my name. So I ended up blocking him, then I unblocked him, and then I let him hit. Yeah, I know, but we don't judge, we listen. So grab your iced coffee and tune in. You're gonna need it for this one. Welcome back to Sister Signs and Red Flags, the podcast where astrology ain't therapy, but it's close. I'm your host, Lika, and if you're new here, hi, hello, and welcome to my show. Thank you so much for watching. Now, today we're talking about a man that I should have left blocked and on red, but I didn't. I call him Africa. He's a man with an accent, red roses, and believe it or not, military credentials. There's no need for us to prolong this. Let's just go ahead and get into it. So I met Africa on Hinge, and I'm not gonna lie, he really wasn't my type. It wasn't giving hell yes, I need to know more about him. It was more like, let's see what he's talking about for real. Because I know what I normally go for, and he definitely was far from it. And sometimes different is good, but in this case, absolutely not. Just absolutely not. All that hey beautiful ish. Normally he wouldn't have made it out of my DMs with that. Just being for real. But from day one, he was doing the most. For example, he called all the time, and then there was text after text every single morning. Like, good morning, beautiful queen. Have you eaten? How's your day, beautiful queen? Like, sir, do you eat? Do you sleep? Do you breathe without asking me if I had lunch? You know, it was a lot, and it was a lot too fast. Is this a cultural thing? Because it has happened a lot to me with African and Jamaican men. Like, sir, look at me. I'm a big girl. Look. I'm a big girl. Do it look like I'm missing any meals for real? What y'all think? Let me know down there in the comments, because I need to know for me, okay? But anyway, I ended up blocking him in a matter of days. I just couldn't deal. It was overwhelming, to say the least. And as if it couldn't get any messier, right? Around the same time, I was conversing with another little fellow consistently that went ghost on me. Then my little Piscean guilt kicked in. I felt bad, like, damn, I just did to Africa what this other dude just did to me. And you know, karma, right? Well, listen, I was like, let me apologize and make it right, because I won't want anyone to stop talking to me cold turkey without a little explanation. So I unblocked him and hit him with a, hey, life got busy. I'm so sorry. You know, I was lying for real, but not really, but also really I was lying. But either way, he didn't respond, which it was cool with me because I had done my part right. And the universe saw me trying to make things right? No, because 2 months later, this man calls me twice, back to back, and me being me, I answer. He's like, I know you're probably wondering why I'm calling. You probably think I'm crazy. And he proceeds to tell me he was at military training, had no access to his phone, blah, blah, blah. Then he hits me with a, I want to take you out. And so I'm like, sure, why not? What do I have to lose? So he drives an hour and a half to take me out on a date, shows up with a dozen red roses, opens my car door, tells me my dress is his favorite color. You know, just real gentleman energy. We went to brunch, we saw a movie, he even takes me to get ice cream afterwards. But the whole time, this man could not keep his fucking hands to himself. And you know, I'm wearing shapewear, you know, trying to keep it all in and cute and everything. And baby, he over here trying to fill me up like we done been out on 5 to 6 dates already, okay? And look, I had to set him straight. I straight up told him, look, if you touch me again, I'm going to fuck off and you taking me home. Because absolutely not. Absolutely not. So he backed off. a little, but at that point, the vibe had shifted, you know. So we get back to my apartment, and here comes my little Pisces Rising guilt again, honey. Lord have mercy. I'm gonna be real. I let him come up, and then also I let him hit because I wanted to know what this man was working with and whether or not the aggravation would be worth my time. But tell me why I had to argue with this man about wearing protection. We don't need that. Trust me, I'm clean. I can show you my military records. Like, sir, if you don't put that uniform back on and wrap it up, the fuck you think this is? No. This is not the playground. This is not the fair, baby. This ain't no free ride. And I end up out here with all kind of STIs and STDs and shit. Hell no. What's wrong with you? But anyway, the next day, he texts asking me if he can come back over. And honestly, I knew at this point, I was over it. I was no longer intrigued or interested, baby. So I lied. I told him I was headed out of town, baby, to help my daughter who had just got out of the hospital with my grandchildren, knowing damn well I wasn't going to goddamn place. I was going to be laying in that bed, baby, watching Bosch the whole weekend, okay? But even though I lied or whatever, you want to know what this man said? Okay. No, I hope she's okay. No, let me know when you're back. Let me know you made it safe. Just okay. If nothing else was a red ass flag, baby, that was. And the red flags, honey, ain't 6 flags for me, okay? That might be for some of y'all, but for Shalika, no thank you. Peace out. So I didn't text back. I didn't call. I moved the fuck on. And months later, you would not believe he had the nerve to call and text me again like nothing happened. Gemini curiosity be damned. I ignored that man with my whole heart and spirit, y'all. And I ain't give a damn if he even knew my name for real. Now that you heard about the dating disaster with Africa, let's talk about the red flags he gave off. And honestly, I should have been calling flag on the damn play the whole time, okay? Red flag number 1, excessive flattery that feels performative. If a man can't go a single sentence without calling you queen, he's not complimenting you, he's casting a net. And what exactly is he trying to catch? Fish? Tilapia? Nah, none of that. A vulnerable woman with low boundaries and high tolerance for bullshit. Because that whole good morning, beautiful queen, did you eat today script wasn't meant for me. It was meant for anybody willing to bite. And let's be honest, if the line really works, he wouldn't have to repeat it every morning like a daily affirmation. Besides, I look in the mirror every morning and say, good morning, gorgeous. And it does so much for my self-esteem. More than his fakeness ever could. Red flag number 2, ignoring physical boundaries on date 1. Sir, this ain't build a bay. You don't get to mold your assets based on how far you drove or how many flowers you brought. I don't give a damn if you flew in from Timbuktu, showed up with a dozen roses, opened every door, and sprinkled compliments like confetti. You still don't get to put your hands on me without permission. Respect isn't earned through gas mileage or movie tickets. It's proven when you hear stop and actually stop. And I really can't believe I have to say this in 2025, but no means no, motherfucker. Not maybe, not keep going, not but I drove a long way. If you only respect boundaries when it benefits you, that's not kindness, boo. That's control. And that is also manipulative with manners. And honestly, your mama, she should have taught you better, okay? Red flag number 3, cold detachment when denied access. This man went from I'm thinking about you to okay the moment he realized he was not getting what he wanted. He shut down like a robot running out of commands. The second access was denied. The beautiful queen script was over. No empathy, no softness, no follow-up. Just an abrupt retreat. And that right there, that was the real him. That was ego folding in on itself. People like that only know how to perform warmth when the reward is guaranteed. They don't do intimacy, baby. They do outcomes. And that code, okay, told me everything I needed to know. It wasn't just a red flag. It was a brightly lit and highly visible exit sign. So you got the red flags, right? Cool. Now let's talk about the astrology. So this is me when I be on my bullshit. I'm a Gemini sun, and listen, being curious is cute until it shows up in your dating choices. My curiosity doesn't just ask questions. It opens doors, revisits block numbers, and plays one more time with red flag energy. I already studied, failed twice, and passed. And with Mars in Gemini too, I don't always want closure. I want the final word. I want to know if I could have played it differently, if I missed a step, if maybe, just maybe, I'm in control of the outcome now. And all of that is also happening while my Pisces rising is in the corner crying a glass of intuition. Because Pisces energy, it doesn't ghost without guilt. Even when we know somebody ain't good for us, we still feel bad about pulling away. I know, it's screwed up. But that's how I ended up unblocking a man I didn't even like for real. And that's how I ended up apologizing for my silence, even though his energy was loud and wrong. Pisces rising will have you out here trying to give grace to somebody the universe already told you to delete. And that right there, that is how you end up spiritually recycling trash. Not because you don't know better, but because part of you still hopes they will. Now we're going to get into him because Africa was an Aquarius. And baby, it shows. Aquarius men are the kings of performative charm. They will say all the right things to appear emotionally deep, but when it's time to actually connect, their Bluetooth just don't pair. They operate like feelings are optional, but their ego is non-negotiable. Now, to be fair, Aquarius men aren't all bad. At their best, they're innovative, forward-thinking, and not afraid to challenge the status quo. They can be deeply loyal to the people they decide are part of their inner circle, and they'll support your wildest dreams without blinking. And I'll admit that confidence in that I'll be myself no matter what energy, it can be magnetic. But when those same traits show up unevolved, that independence turns into emotional distance, and that I think differently mindset turns into I'm always right. If an Aquarius man doesn't get the reaction he wants, he will flip into logical mode so fast, you'll start thinking you imagined the entire vibe. That detached, robotic, okay, that's classic Aquarius shutdown. He couldn't get the access, so he gave nothing. Not even basic human concern. And let's not forget, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, the planet of disruption. That's why he circled the block months later like he didn't just get ghosted on purpose. Aquarius men are the type to vanish mid-convo, then reappear 3 months later like, hey you, just thinking about you. Sir, you weren't thinking, period, okay? And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even peep his chart until now. But now that I know what I know, intuition and common sense is king. The stars just back it up. And baby, I should have left that whole engagement on red. So what did we learn today, class? Attention is not affection. Consistency is not chemistry. And a man who won't honor your no doesn't deserve your yes. This wasn't about shame. It was about how loneliness, guilt, and curiosity can cloud your intuition. But the good news, clarity always comes back, and it did for me. Thank you so much for tuning in to Sister Signs and Red Flags. Until next time, y'all, stay cute, stay petty, and be safe out there. Bye. Every time, 10 minutes of bullshit before we even press record. This is a goddamn shame. You ever met a man and instantly... You ever met a... What the fuck am I saying? Oh, it's met. Oh, that's why I'm saying it wrong. Oh. Wrong the whole time. Can't read, apparently. All that hey beautiful-ish. Normally, he would have... been out like 5 to 10 days. 5 to... Flag on the play. Now, let's talk about the red flags after... Let's talk about the red flags after... God damn, what's the man's name? I should be there be calling these people the wrong name. Lord have mercy. I don't know what it is in here. I'm gonna have to vacuum. Cause this itching shit still happening. I'm not recording this again. Stop it.